Hey, you guys, good morning. It's almost 11 o'clock Eastern Time in Tallahassee, Florida, where I live. My home office and studio and headquarters of LishaBerry.com are here. And I was just absolutely moved. I'm not supposed to be making videos necessarily on the weekends because it's supposed to be some time off, but but I can't help myself today. I just had this major aha, and I want to share it with you because I think it could touch something, could touch a nerve in a positive way, I hope. So last weekend, I taught two workshops in one day, which was actually awesome. I was a little worried about it, but it worked out great. And it was both of the workshops centered around creativity. The one in the morning I co-led with my colleague and creativity coach, Gina Hogan Edwards. I always get those last names mixed up, Gina, sorry. And we taught something called Embracing Your Creative Voice. She led our workshop participants through a process of understanding the stages of creativity from sort of a left brain perspective, kind of dissecting the various stages in the cycle of creativity. And then I led the participants through a right brain investigation of the heroine's journey to understand where they are in their creativity, kind of give them a map of where they are and help them identify where they might be getting a little stuck or might need a little boost, or to call on the muses, the creativity goddess, to step in and support them. So that was the morning. Then in the afternoon, I taught a workshop called Promoting Your Creative Expression. And it was designed initially to be to share my experience as a creative and to share, how to promote and perhaps even make a living from your creativity. It was intended, in that spirit. My thinking was I will attract, people that have already got, a body of work, or they've already got a product, or they already have a book written or something, and they're just looking for different ways to get the word out. That was my intention when I sat down and created that workshop and was guided to, create that workshop. But to my surprise and of great interest to me, the people that came, the women, they were all women, and I think we had 8 of us altogether, 7, 8 of us that were in various stages of denial of their creativity. And what I mean by that is that, so for example, we had 3 visual artists who were either arrested in their process of producing, or they were sort of producing but not really showing people. We had two authors, two who had books, one who was working on a book, and one who had finished a book but was sitting on it. And then the other people were kind of a mix, like visual, word, teaching, business kind of oriented, and women entrepreneur oriented. And various stages of life, ages, from early 40s to our most elder woman was in her 70s. And it was actually kind of a surprise and a shock to me. I had to adjust on the fly, once you sit down and you take that moment to ask people, why they're there and what are they looking for, from the workshop, which is always important to do, by the way. They revealed this, and I was like, oh, I think I need to shift my gears here and just find out more about why people are struggling, with their creativity. And what I discovered through talking to these people is that in various ways, in various forms, they were saying no to their creative urge. Different reasons. For one woman who was actually a very successful visual artist, her business, her art really took off, and she was completely overwhelmed with business, and to the point that she was just sort of manufacturing, art to kind of satisfy this demand, and it wasn't coming from her creative center anymore. It was just sort of this automaton, like, okay, here, I need to make some more of those mermaids and some more of those landscapes, and so like that sort of thing. And so it had, the joy had gone out of it for her, that creative spirit of discovery and excitement, and the joy of dancing on that edge, with the creative energy. For another woman, she had been a successful fashion designer in New York and had been supported her whole work life making art in this way. But now that she is retired, she was desperately depressed and sad. She was like barely able to hold her head up, barely able to say anything with her words. She just looked morose and sad, and I mean, I don't even know how she dragged herself to the workshop, frankly, because she was just like a puddle on the floor. And yet there was some little fighting spirit in her that got her there, so good for her. She stopped making art when she retired because she was used to people paying her to make it and people advocating for her to make it and having an outside structure to force her, to create, because it was her job. And now that she wasn't retired anymore, she didn't have anything on the outside to tell her, well, you have to create, you got to do it. She didn't exercise that inner muscle, the desire to create, until now. And she's like, oh my God, I know I need to paint, I know I need to do something, but I can't even lift a brush, and my husband doesn't support me, and he just tells me I should just relax. I'm retired, and he just wants me to just sit around and read and do crossword puzzles. And I'm looking at this woman, and there's a creative soul in there who is used to expressing, and she's not doing it, and it has made her sick. It's made her depressed. And the other various stages of why am I not. Another woman wrote a beautiful book about preserving this village that this quaint fishing village, historic, where our art was in Apalachicola, and she's written a book about preserving the buildings and taking beautiful photographs and honoring renovation efforts that are still acknowledging the history of the place. And she's quiet. She has a very quiet voice, and she's like, I just don't know how important this is. I don't know. I just feel like I want to preserve things that I feel should be preserved, but I don't know if other people want to know about this or care about this. And I mean, all around the table, people are like nodding their heads. Mm-hmm. And then one woman said, I don't even know why I'm here. I have a business, but I don't have a creative bone in my body. And that was the one that stopped me cold. And this is what I was just thinking about this morning. I'm in my kitchen, okay, and I'm going to show you my kitchen, and I'm going to show you, what I'm doing in here. But I want to address this first. I can't tell you how many times I have heard someone say, I don't have a creative bone in my body. Now, I've been an artist my whole life. I've been, drawing and making scribbles and words and, paper dolls, and, ever since I can remember, that creative urge has sought to express through me, and for whatever reason, I allowed it. It's taken different forms at different times, but, the creative urge, came through. And I was an art teacher, and I went to art school, and then, blah, 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 published author, bestseller, blah, 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 all these things, so yeah, I'm a creative person. So people look at me and look at the work that I do and hear the things I talk about, and they're like, oh, you're so creative. How do you do it? I just can't imagine how you get everything done that you get done. And I'm just not creative at all. I don't have a creative bone in my body. And I hear that, and every single time I hear it, and I really, literally, I couldn't tell you how many times I've heard it because it's been so much. Every time I hear it, I feel this knee-jerk response in my body. Like, oh, how could you say that about yourself? Like that strong. It's like, oh, no, don't say that about yourself. And I hope that I'm imparting that energy to you by talking about it, because it's so wrong. It's so wrong to believe you don't have any creativity. That is bullshit. And I'm telling you this because we are made of creativity. This is not news, okay? This is not rocket science either. We are made of the stars. We are made of the creation of the elements of the earth that form our body. We're made of nature. We're made of the most creative stuff there is. We exist because of creation. We exist because of creativity. And I don't mean creation like in the biblical sense, okay, guys? So I mean creative in the sense of we are creating and we are created and we are creation all the time, every single day. We're creating every single day. And, people think creativity means visual art or means writing a book or means, writing beautiful music as a musician or being a dancer or, even to the point that there's people say creative arts. And I really reject that wholeheartedly, completely, 100%, because everything we do, everything we make, everything we conceive of from idea to manifestation is an act of creation. Every single day we are creating in some form. So how much you're allowing yourself to express your creativity, now that can vary per person. And I really believe that the vast number of reproductive illnesses, that we have, and the rising number of reproductive illnesses that we have in women and in men are as a result of creativity being stifled in some way, being blocked, not being expressed. I have experience with this. And I also believe that if we allow ourselves to let that creative flow move through us, if we allow the creativity urge to come through us, that we really show up in our lives in a way that makes us joyful and that makes us happy, but also that helps us be on purpose as to what our unique voice is in the world. We're so unique, each of us, and we each have our own viewpoint and what we need to be, doing in the world. And we only can know that when we let the energy that moves through all things move through us, unfettered, unblocked. And then these things show up in our lives. We create these things in our lives that are just like, oh my God, I didn't know I could do that. Or, oh my God, I didn't know I felt that way. Or, oh my God, I just put something out there and somebody else really saw it and resonated with it. And they said, thank you so much. I had never thought of that. And you just helped me so much. You just, we create with of course, with artistic kind of stuff, but we create our businesses. We create our homes. We create our persona, how we dress. And I'm going to show you my kitchen because I create in here all the time. So we make beautiful food. We feed other people. We make environments. There's no end. Gardens. Everything we make, everything we do is a creative act. So let me just show you my kitchen. All right, so here's my little crazy space. It's actually not that little. It's a good size space. And, you can see I've got the captain's deck here. I've got a 3-sided view of the outdoors, and this is kind of command central right here, okay? And I love looking out, and we've got Peter's out there working with some awesome guys that we've hired to help us get our yard in place because it's time to garden. And I'm making some tea with some mint leaves and some Good Earth tea bags, letting it sit in the sun. I have my little, basil plants and parsley and celery plants. Sorry, just washed some dishes. Cutting central, here I've got some oranges that I picked from our tree in the back. These are Seville oranges from Spain. These are the sour oranges that are actually medicinal. The juice is very, very sour, and the skin is also medicinal, can be used for all kinds of wonderful things. And I've been making some food today. This is my little thing I'm going to actually see. I'm going to have to check on them. Hang on. Let's see how, oh yeah, I think we're ready. Let's see if I can pull that out so you can see what I did. Yep, okay. So I roasted some vegetables over here. All kinds of veggies. I don't know if you can see that very well. Olive oil, lemon pepper, garlic, stuffed mushrooms with pesto, which is also homemade. I make my own pesto. And I have a kick-ass recipe for that everybody loves and everybody wants. And I'm happy to share it. And I stuffed the mushrooms with the pesto. I put some goat cheese on the top. On some of them I put a little pancetta for anybody who wants some meat. And then I'm roasting some garlic, because roasted garlic is really fantastic for all kinds of things. And then over here we have another little creative central. You can see the words. This is the word center. And so we have, spontaneous creativity on the refrigerator, where people are putting words together and making either very bawdy things, like my sons come here and they put stuff about smoking weed and penises and butts and stuff. So, of course, that's a guy thing. But then we also put other stuff. Oh, hey, Adrian, I just saw that you're on here. Thanks for joining me. Absolutely. And yes, creativity is linked with our humanity, no question. In fact, I would say, I really agree with Julia Cameron that creativity and spirituality are the same thing. I can't separate them personally. And, I just put things, I make areas beautiful because it makes my eyes happy. Like, I could leave these tomatoes in their little plastic container, but I don't want to. It makes me happier to look at them in a pretty bowl. And so, and here's my beloved creating something outside. Looks like you're washing something. That's cool.
All the outside people are thirsty. I was trying to get your attention, but
fine. I've been busy.
I can tell.
I've been talking about creativity.
Once I heard you talking to the tribe, I figured I'd just come inside.
And this is Peter's computer area. This is where he makes fractals. So, all right, so we're just in this one room, right, in my house. And in this one room, there are multiple creativity stations. And you can see evidence of creativity everywhere, because it's our joy to create. And we make stuff, and even in the way we store our dishes, it gives me pleasure to make color arrangement. So that's a creation too. That's a creation too. So, all right. I'm turning us around again. So coming out of the kitchen, because there's a little noise in there now. There's actually a whole lot to say about this, but right now I feel impelled and compelled to just say that even when we aren't aware that we're being creative, creative energy is seeking expression through us all the time. And even if we think, well, I'm not a creative person, I'm not, artistic, I'm not, I don't have those kinds of genes. I wasn't born creative. It's not in my family. I challenge that utterly and completely, because you really truly are creating, whether you're in business or whether you're a beautiful baker, making beautiful bread, or if you're creating a sweet sanctuary of a home. whether you're writing, an ebook to share with other people, to share your opinion, whether you're, developing a unique voice that is just you and you're creating you, raising children. I mean, whatever you've got going on in your life, you are absolutely creative. There's no question about it. And please don't say that anymore. If you're one of those people who says, I don't have a creative bone in my body, just stop. Just stop saying that, because it's not true. Honor the creative force that's moving through you all the time. And if you hear someone else say, I don't have a creative bone in my body, please share this philosophy with them. It's important that we honor our creative urge, and we honor that flow of creative energy that seeks expression through us. And each of us, again, has a unique way of allowing that to flow through us, kind of like a coffee filter, depending on your filters, like the color of your coffee and the strength and the power of the coffee. You don't want to have an obstructed filter. You want to let through. And I'm going to talk some more another day about the connection with our reproductive organs and the prevalence of illnesses in female reproductive organs, especially the ovaries, and blocking creativity. I'm going to speak quite a bit about that because I have some experience with that. And there will be lots of other topics about creativity and honoring yourself as a creative voice coming up on the Alicia Berry page. So join me again. Thanks for being here. If you have any questions or thoughts, please make sure to comment below. And thanks again, and go out there and create. Woo!